On Friday, 5 Senate Democrats signed a measure requiring Israeli aid to comply with international law, increasing the total number of joint sponsors to 18. From the leading Democrats, Virginia, Tim Kaine is also gathering his support. The change to stop President Biden from bypassing Congress when ordering Israel to ship weapons is a maneuver the president has been implementing twice in recent months. Earlier this week, 11 senators voted for a bill aimed at forcing Senator Bernie Sanders' Biden administration to examine Israel's potential human rights violations. After weeks' unquestioned support, Senate is emerging as a center of resistance to Biden's unwavering embrace Israel, at least in modest ways. Even centrist Democrats call on President's Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He signals his discomfort from bare embrace. Some of the leading Democrats have proposed or supported measures aimed at holding Israel accountable or changing American strategy, although they are unlikely to gather enough support to pass these measures. The increasing willingness of orders Democrats to criticize or repel Israel. It marks a change in the party's politics since war in Gaza began more than 100. Polls show a notable decline in support for Biden's handling of the issue among young Muslim and Arab American voters. Georgia, senators from variable states, including Wisconsin and Minnesota, have signed on to some of these measures, while several senators have voiced Biden's criticism for his full power of Israeli policy. A new and more skeptical tone it reflects growing discomfort as civilian deaths in Gaza have increased and Israel has repeatedly ignored the demands of U.S. to change its military offensive. Senator Chris Van Hollen, who along with Kaine organized the effort to impose conditions, said, "The Netanyahu coalition promises every week that we will see meaningful changes to the Biden administration. And this never happens every week," he said in exchange for help. Van Hollen noted that some members of Netanyahu's far-right coalition bragged about ignoring America's demands. Van Hollen said he initially supported Biden's embrace of Netanyahu when President flew to Israel to show his support for the U.S.'s immediate allies shortly after Hamas attacks. Israel responded to the deaths of nearly 25,000 Palestinians and a months-long war in Gaza that exacerbated humanitarian conditions. Van Hollen said America's approach its ally must change as Israel fails to move the low-density phase of its long-promised operations. The aid, which required Israel and other nations to abide by international humanitarian law, had 18 joint sponsors as of Friday, when 5 more Democratic senators signed. Senator Elizabeth Warren, in an interview, estimated that about half of 51 Democratic and independent senators would vote on such a measure on the pitch. It was a striking sum for an organ in which there was little unconditional aid to